Hi friends, it's Stephanie with Steph's on a Budget, and we're ready to do our May update video. So I'm actually a little bit late, and I got a little flustered, like, oh no, I'm usually pretty good at like recording what my official debt numbers are like that first day of the new month. So, because sometimes interest hits and it changes things, but luckily the debts are kind of fewer, so it's a little easier to track and kind of go back. So I was able to go back and get all the numbers okay. And most of our stuff is not collecting too much interest right now, which also makes it a little bit easier to kind of go back. So but yeah, usually I'm more excited to do kind of the debt review for the month, and May was not like a great progress month for us, so maybe that's why I was putting it off a little bit when normally I don't. But yeah, let's jump on in and we'll take a look at how we did in May, and then we'll also take a look at what we're going to be starting with in June. We're going to use our Budget Mom debt trackers. This is in her budget workbook, and I just purchased the downloadable version, print those and put those into a happy planner. So that's these first two forms that we're going to be looking at, and then we'll move into kind of my trackers that I just use like for coloring and fun, and to kind of jazz up this debt payoff a little bit. Okay, so the first thing we look at is what we started with in May. And in May, we started with 6 loans or debts rather, including a mortgage, which I don't include my mortgage number into my big debt number. That's just too overwhelming. And we are not on a mortgage payoff journey right now. We just bought our house not even 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years this November. So we are nowhere near ready for that just yet. We're focusing on our credit cards, and then we will move into vehicles, and then we will hopefully get into mortgage payoff. So maybe 5 years in the future, guys. But yeah, so in May, we started with an Apple credit card, and that is our primary debt focus right now. We have a goal of paying this one off by the end of June. It's gonna be close. I'm not sure if we're gonna do it. I'm not sure if we're gonna make it. Worst case scenario is we'll do it. It'll be done hopefully by our first July paycheck, but we'll see. You just never know. So I don't want to put my cart before my horse. But anywho, so in May, our Apple Card started with $1,405.18. Some of this is a little bit of spending, and most of it is my husband's iPhone. So the iPhone sits at 0% interest, and the rest is about a 30% interest rate with those, with the Fed and with interest hikes. It didn't start at 30%, but that's kind of 29 point something is kind of the average of most credit cards, it seems like. So I believe that sits at around, I just rounded it up, about 30%. So it's very minimum. I think last month we had like maybe $5 in interest. So it's not bad. And no interest has hit yet, because what we ended with in May and started with in June, nothing had, it was just all like phone stuff, so we didn't generate any interest. But anywho, so I changed this last column usually is a priority, where you can list the priority that you want to pay your debts. I change it to total payments so I can see how much I paid towards that debt for the month. And so for our Apple Card, we paid $340 in the month of May, and so pretty good. The next debt we have is a Citi card. This sits at 0% interest. Remember, you guys, if you watched the last 2 months, this was a balance transfer for a couple of our credit cards that we condensed into just this one. The minimum payment on this is $47, but we just bumped that up and made a payment of $50 for the month of May. Discover card was also, I guess for the Citi card, I should say, we started at $4,296.51. For our Discover card, we started at $8,600.50. This is also a 0% interest and has a promotional, well, I guess promotion. We did a balance transfer. So the Citi card is 21 months interest free. The Discover's 15. So yeah, we'll just see which one we're gonna kind of tackle next. But the minimum payment on this is $168 for the Discover. We went ahead and made a $200.50 payment on that for the month of May. I have a student loan that's obviously in deferment, so it's at 0% interest, no payment is being made, and that balance started at $6,998, and so we made no payments towards that. You guys have heard me say many times, the student loan payment has stayed in my budget this entire time of deferment because I didn't want the budget to get used to not having that expense, because we all knew it was going to come back eventually. And so when we do transition back into payments, my budget is not going to feel a squeeze from that. So in the meantime, what we've been doing is just rolling that student loan payment over into whatever the priority debt payment is. Okay, and then we have the Big Daddy, our truck payment. We started May at $64,037.56. This sits at about 4%, and we pay a minimum payment of $1,013, which is just a little bit over principal. It's not much over, it's a couple dollars, you guys, but we just rounded up to that. So I just list that as the minimum payment, and that is what we paid for May. Okay, our mortgage, even though I'm not counting it in the numbers, I do share the number here. So we started May at $335,719.85. We have a 3.25% interest rate. Our minimum payment is like $2,294. So I just round that up to $2,300, and that is what we paid for May. Okay, the next thing I will usually do is then kind of total my monthly payments that went to debt. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, sorry for the bump, you guys. So 340. Okay, so for May, we paid a total of $3,903.50 towards our debt. Most of that is minimum payments, you guys, so not too much over. Sorry for the bump again. Not too many extra debt payments for May. Did I say March a minute ago? Sorry, I meant May. But I knew May was not our best month. May was actually a pretty terrible month for us. We had a lot of excess spending. We were over budget a lot. And we also did acquire a new debt for kind of an emergency that our emergency fund couldn't cover. So going into June, unfortunately, we are going to see an increase. But let's see what the numbers, at least for the monthly progress, look like. So we started May with a total of $85,337.71 in debt. That was our April. So why am I having like the biggest brain forever? Geez, you guys, I suddenly can't remember how to fill out my form. So that's lovely. Oh, okay. So we'll come back to this. What we need to do is skip over to June so that we can see what we're starting June with, and that will give us this month's debt total. Then we can subtract and we'll know what we're doing. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and pull this out, just be easier with my left-handedness. So I'm going to cover this form for a minute. Okay, so I just use... So these are our June starts. We still have that Apple Card, obviously. So by the time May was done, we made our payments. We are starting June on our Apple Card at $1,258.25. And hold on, I'm gonna help my daughter Kennedy with something really quick. So, okay, sorry about that. So the math doesn't quite add up with 0% interest, and that's because we every first of the following month, the new installment payment hits the account. So that's about $71, $72. So that automatically gets added on to this balance. So about $71, $72 is the June phone payment. And then there was about $120 in spending on this card. So, my husband he's super supportive of all of the budgeting. He's not super hands-on, but we talk a lot and we touch base on our budget a lot. And lately I feel like our mindset just hasn't been meshing, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens as couples. We're not always on the same page with one another, which is why you want to openly communicate so that we each know where each of us is standing. I'm very much in the mindset of, wanting to pay off debt and being debt free. And my husband's kind of more like, he doesn't feel like that's a reality. So we'll get there. He's definitely seen like the success we've had in paying off debt the last 2 years. So he definitely sees the benefit of budgeting, and he definitely wants us to continue to do so. But when I see spending on cards go up, it's much more aggravating and frustrating to me than it is to him. And like I said, sometimes we're just in different places with our budget. And so, he's a little less bothered than I am right now, but we're still very much supporting each other on paying off debt and making that the goals, like the primary goal where extra money's going. At the very least, he likes to see the balances low, even if he doesn't believe that they can entirely be gone. But, it's okay. Like I said, we're as couples, we're not always on the same page with one another, but we still have great communication, and we support each other 100%. So, we'll get there. So about 120 went on spending. I was a little bit more perturbed than he was. So it's just where we're at in life right now. But okay, so next we have that Citi number 2 card, and we are going to start June at $4,246.51. So that all went to principal on that. Discover, we're going to start at $8,400 even. Okay. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure you're still, on screen. Okay. Student loan is starting exactly the same, $6,998. Honestly, I just wonder if this deferment was beneficial. When it comes to student loans, this is a relatively low number. I mean, $7,000 is nothing to sneeze at, that's for sure. But when you look at student loans, this isn't bad. I kind of wish I just would have been paying it. So, but it is what it is. It'll go away soon. Okay, the next step we have, let me go ahead and add in the new debt that we added, which was a personal loan, unfortunately, and that is going to start at $4,600. Since we've started budgeting in 2020, both my husband and my credit scores have just improved significantly, just having lower balances and lots of on-time payments and stuff. So that has been one really big positive when it comes to budgeting. Even if you're not making a lot of debt progress, which, sometimes we're hit or miss, our credit has improved significantly, which has been really nice. So the last time we had a personal loan that we paid off, I think our personal loan was about 14.5%. And this one's sitting at about 9%. So that's improvement, even though we have a new loan, unfortunately. So I've already made a payment, and it was nice to see, I think only like $30 of the payment went to interest, which is not too bad. It's $30 I'd rather have in my pocket, but it just is what it is. And it's a setback, but it's, we're not going to quit. So that's the important thing. Okay, next up we have the truck. And the truck is starting in June at $280.04. Whoop, don't know what that was, but we've come down to the next 1,000 mark, which is great. And then we have our mortgage, which is going to start June at $335,120.90. So that is a look at our starting June balances. So not great, but let's see where we're at. So obviously we know our number is going to go up, unfortunately, but we'll work on getting it back down. I'm going to go ahead and slip this paper back in. What's going on? There it goes. Okay, so let's add all these up to see what June is going to start with. Okay, we're going to start June at $88,782.80. So you can see we went the opposite way. So $88,782.80. And so now we'll take our new number minus our old number. And that gives us a difference of $3,445.09 in the red. Hence the red marker today. So we went up in debt. I need to move this. I can't quite see it, guys. 3,445.09. So all in all, though, I would say it's not too terribly bad, considering that the new loan is $4,600. So we still were able to come out almost $1,200 kind of in the positive, if you look at it that way. So that's kind of good, right? Got to find the wins where you can. So our total debt we started 2023 at was $93,312.44. So we're going to carry that 88,000 over here. $93,312.44 minus 88,782.80. So we're still $4,529.64 less in debt than when we were in January. So again, not great, but could definitely be worse. So that's a look at our May debt numbers. I'm happy to say that June is off to a much better start. Knock on wood, it stays that way. So let's move into our second binder where we do a little bit of kind of the more fun tracking stuff, if you will. And let me just get us lined up. Okay, so the first one I like to start with is just this little handmade tracker that I made just using stickers and my Happy Planner book here. So let me pull some colors over. Is this the one that I used? Not sure. Yep, looks like it. Okay, so May, what we're going to do, oh, I need my book open still, you guys, sorry. I need to look at those numbers again. Okay, so in May, I'm just gonna fold this. We added that $3,445.09 to our debt, unfortunately. And so then in June, our new debt is now at $88,000. So I just made this so I can kind of quickly glance at where I was all year, every month. It's just a quick little snapshot. So that takes care of that one. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is our Apple. So I'm still tracking here. I obviously haven't done so since like all of May, so I need to go back and do that. But this was really confusing people, so we won't worry too much about that one. But let's look at the fun coloring one. And we started our Apple Card at, when did we start this one? February 24th at $3,283.05. It now sits at the $1,258. So each credit card's worth $110. So when I figured this out, we were able to color in one more card this time. So, and again, that's
just because we had some spending on here.
So like I said, even though my husband and I might not be in the totally exact same mindset, we did have a conversation. He knows where I'm at, I know where he's at, and there hasn't been any spending on that card at all. So, you know, even though his thinking isn't in a complete align with mine, he's still listening, right? So, like I said, we're not always on the same page, but we're still working together as a team. Okay, so unfortunately for our Discover card, each card's $287. We only paid $200, so we're not quite ready to fill one in there yet. Same with our City 2. Each card's about $143, and we only paid $50, so we're not quite ready to fill in on these yet. And I'm okay with that because these are not our priority debts. So as long as we're coloring on the priority, that makes me happy. And we are making payments, just not these big ones, because these two cards are a very big balance, so they're going to take us a while. And these are all from this credit card debt trackers from the Budget Mom free resource library too. If you just visit the Budget Mom shop, you'll find the resource library there. This next one's from Debt Free Charts. This tracker is specifically for our credit card debt. And I've already done the math here a little bit off camera, and we started our credit card debt at $20,230 in January, and our credit card debt is now down to $13,904. So still making progress as far as our credit card debt goes. And each leaf is worth $203. So if we take our old minus our new, we've paid off $6,326 in credit card debt. We divide that by 203 and we can color in 31, which means we can color in 2 of our leaves. So
we are on blue. So I will color and speed you all up for this here.
that takes care of that one. The rainbow is looking so pretty. And it's just a nice way to be able to see like each month, you know, like this was a huge month for us versus these last two, not so much. Next tracker is also from the Budget Mom. This is our total debt. Obviously our debt went up, so we're not going to be able to color anything in there, so we're not going to bother. And then our truck balance is not quite yet at the next line, so we are doing no coloring there today. So that is going to take care of our fun little trackers. Again, not our best month, not a lot of progress. We went the opposite way. So I am looking forward to seeing what June brings. Like I said, it's only the 12th, so it's very early in the month. But this is also a magic month for us, so we do have a little bit of extra money to hopefully throw at debt. But like I said, one day at a time, you guys. So we'll see what June brings. But thank you again so much for joining me for another video. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I can't thank you guys enough for your continued support and being here and joining us on this journey. But that will take care of our video for today, you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.